Welcome to the podcast, Have to Peak. I'm Pri Cosentino, your host. And today we are going to talk about the subject that's truly important when we are talking about business. Why is your company failing miserable? What's so hard for us to be really have talent retention, having people that wants to stay and desire to be part of our company? So, for us to start debating about this content, it's really important to understand that the first step for us when we are building a company and have talent retention is to make our company desirable. The right way to do so is for us to make in a way that people wants to be part of our company. It doesn't matter what are the challenges and the scenarios, because all the places are going to have things that's going to be likable and dislikable. Each person has their own beliefs, their own mindset, and that's completely going to transform our way of perceive a company. But the most important part is for us to make part of it that's fully desirable. A great example of that is, for example, Disney World. Disney World is a company that has a lot of things that are really good and a lot of things are not as much good. That means when we are talking about business and working hours, most employees, we have a long day shift. That means that's a lot of hours put on in the same day. That for a lot of people might be a challenge and for others not as much. But the biggest difference that make people be in love with them is the fact that they are desirable. Who here might not have had a dream of being at Disney? Can you even imagine working at Disney? That's what makes a lot of people even fly overseas to be able to come and work to these companies like Disney World. So when we are talking about talent retention, we are talking about making the team really desire to be there. Talent retention means being part of a group or a company that you really wants to be. So the first step is making your company in a place that people love to work. Doesn't matter the challenge, doesn't matter all the things that they might need to learn and grow. They want to be there because it's a place to stay. Companies like Disney, as I stated before, but as well as Google or even Uber and Facebook, Apple, those are all companies that we have seen prior before make the desires. And if you go, those are just big companies that we all know about it. But if you go in each area that you're looking for, that's going to have a company that people want to work with. In the same way, it's not only making the company desirable, but the leaders of the company to be desirable as well. What truly makes people want to stay in the company, what makes an employee wants to stay in a company is having them being in love with the company, but secondly, being in love with their leaders. Because the big thing is a company is made out of people, and people loves people. That's correct. We are always engaged with someone in our company. So what makes an employee wants to stay in a company when we are talking about the right mindset, it's having the company leaders that people wants to follow. Let me explain a little bit more about it and help you with this understanding. So when we are talking about making employees wants to stay in a company, we are truly talking about people following others. So what's going to mean that is that when we are thinking about the employee wanting to say they are connecting with other people, so they need to be and feel that they are honored. They need to be feeling that they are motivated. They really want to say motivation here is not only talking about money. We are talking about understanding what each person wants as motivators. There is a different ways of being so, might be training, might be gifts, might be money as well, but might be traveling. And it's important for us to understand which other person wants, not what it's for everyone. Maybe it can be a day off, an extra day for vacation, time off, or even a dinner with their bosses. So all of that makes all the difference, what makes an employee wanting to stay. So you need to understand what's going to be that. Also, create an environment that people are there helping each other, a positive environment where everyone in their surroundings are truly going to the same direction, are truly seeing that they are helpful, they are growing, they are in an environment that's positive. Let me ask you something. Would you want to be in a place that you don't feel welcoming? Do you want to be in a place where you feel that you're going to be all the time just like bombarded with a lot of things? Doesn't matter if positive, but all the time is negative. Would you? So, see, we need to make an environment that it's an ecosystem that's really going to help our team go to the next level. Um, and how we can be seeing that maybe our company is losing those good talents, right? Because good talents wants to be in an environment that they are growing, that they are going to the next level, that continues to keep up with everything. So a great sign to be that is seeing that people there are great are not willing to be working there, or if they still stay, they are not giving anymore, they are 100%. So a great sign that you can see that you have in the company losing values, talents, when we are talking about the right mindset and how we are maybe failing about talent rotation, it's really seeing how the company is reacting. So are you perceiving your team that you had great employees, great team members that are looking for not be giving any more than 100%? So if you perceive something like that, that's a great sign. That's like a red light, like saying, hey, pay attention. Hey, pay attention. That we need to go and be changing them, what's happening in the environment of the company. People are not giving their 100%. They used to have be 110%, 120% of their quality of work. Instead of that, they are not anymore being involved. They are not arriving anymore on time. But that's not only for the bad talents. I'm here saying about the valuable talents they're looking for, or they are just going and looking around, checking other things. They are not really giving their 100%. That's a big sign about that maybe our company is losing valuable talent. So you need to be aware. You need to see if they are frustrated, how they feel in their faces, if they are like in a meeting saying like, oh yeah, it didn't work. Yeah, shoot, that's bad. So all of that is going to truly help us. Now, how can the company culture influence talent retention? So when we are talking about understanding all of that, see, they are losing the value, they are losing the respect, they are not giving themselves 100%. Important part of this is about culture. It's about how companies and cultures can influence talent retention. So what does a company culture means, right? So understanding the right mission, vision, and values of the company, that's going to be what's going to also help your talent to be wanting to be with your company. So a talent retention is going to be influenced about how well you have a clear vision about what is your company going to accomplish in the next years, as well as what is the mission of the company, what's going to be the way and the mission that we are accomplish everything, as well as the values. What are the principles and the values, that the right characteristics or the important characteristics that is going to lead the company. And when we have all of that, a clear vision, a defined mission, as well as values well understood, that's going to help a talent to be involved with, because the talent is going to be connected to that mission, vision, and values in a way that is going to get stuck with that. Now, if the culture of the company is lacking about it, disrespecting the values, disrespecting what things means, what's important for them, or if the vision is not clear, if the mission is not clear, what's going to happen if the mission get twisted for money? All of that is going to make your talent, because the talent is in your company normally foremost, not only for the money, but for everything that gets in the package. Yes, the talent is going to be having a and would be important with the finance part of it, but also would be willing to be there because of the culture, the strength of the idea about what that company means. And that's what's going to make the whole difference. So when we are talking about that, it's truly important for us to see and perceive how the culture of the company can influence talent's retention or not. So if it's an environment that has a clear vision, a clear mission, right values, and the right characteristics about what's going to be the right principles, all of that is going to interfere in our journey. So that's going to mean that, like, when everyone knows what's valued the most in the company, the talent will make the decision if they want to stay or not stay. If they see those values and principles sticking up and happening, that's also is going to be important. So it's truly important for us to be able to achieve and have that retention in a way, in that direction. So how we can do that, how I can incentivize them, is then starting to understand what is the culture, have a clear culture, have the standards for it, and keep those standards, keep incentivizing and bringing up those informations. So a great way for you to create a strong culture influence is to go truly and put over there in the company ritualistics meetings. Let me give you a great example. I think like it's a great way to help us to have that direction is, for example, going and creating every single day a short meeting, give or take between 10 to 15 minutes, where you bring the mission, the vision, the values of the company, because that's going to create a way. So anything that's ritual and everyone can see about it and have the same direction, that's going to bring up the culture. The culture is also going to influence it about the way that I communicate, that I set my moods. If it's a company that really are happy about scenarios, that celebrate the conquers, all of that, the gains, all of that's going to help you have that culture really being influenced up to talents to be willing to stay. So how can I recognize and appreciate impacts in the employee decision to stay with the company? A great way is, first of foremost, have this culture really implemented in the company. Another great way is, as we have started the beginning of this conversation in our podcast today, it's about really recognizing and giving appreciation. Now, I'm going to give you a great example here. I always think about that. I was talking with a client years ago. I have been working with business entrepreneurs over a decade. And one thing that happened, and that was one of the biggest things that we had to switch over. So was one of those big companies, telecom companies, that they do call. Nowadays, we have a lot of AI helping us with all the system. But it used to be years ago a phone call. So you have to have someone in the other side of the line really on those telemarketing and negotiation companies, right? So this company specific was for cell phones and systems. So they needed to uh, readapt the number of cancellations of the product. And that was one of the things. So that was their main goal for that team. And what happened was that they did a way of making more money. So they was going to give bonus for the team for whoever get the biggest amount of removing the number of cancellations. So they was removing that amount of cancellation. So the biggest amount of retention was going to stay. So I was debating with the team, and what they did prior to I got in, and that's what they wanted me to help them understand why didn't was a success. So in this scenario that I'm sharing here, it was years and years ago, the time of telecom in like by person, right? Not a a chat, just in person. So they are like, oh, you had to call in to make a cancellation, and a person would try to really avoid that cancellation to happen. So when they are trying to do that, what they did was a bonus. So if you reach certain amount and you was able to have reduce the retention uh, cancellation fees and keep the retention of the clients, you would get a bonus. All went well, was awesome. Everyone was looking for the first bonus, get the final month, and they have the numbers, and the company went over there and give the bonus. Now, the bonus for this company was for the biggest person that keep the retention was a trip. Okay, so they was giving a 3-day trip for spring, uh, where you would be able to have all those exercises and activities, and you need to go like out and being there, and you're going to be able to enjoy and have time in the cold river and have all of that in 3 days, all paid by the company. See, I just got half of you guys excited and half of you guys just hating the deal. What happened was that uh, they give a bonus. The bonus was a trip of 3 days for in the spring, in an outside area with everything paid by the company. The problem is the person that won that hated outside trips, hated to be out of a city. If they have won a trip to a big city like New York, San Francisco, Washington, they will be all about it. But they didn't even want it to be outside on the woods. So what happened was that the person that won that month, do you think that in the next month when they did the same thing, saying like, hey, we have a bonus for anyone that has the biggest amount of retention into the company, was that the previous one, the same one that won? No. And actually the top ones completely went out, only one of them staying up with the amount. Why? Because the bonus didn't matter for them. They didn't give the bonus based on what the person was feeling appreciated or recognized. They didn't have gave them that scenario. So what happened was that the only person that truly wants an outside trip on the woods is who likes to be outside. Maybe you do, and you would be all excited when I was sharing here. Hey, you would have a 3 days being full in the woods in a spring where you can be with your family. But if you don't, you're just thinking exactly what the winner had thought was like, what the heck is this? What the F? Like, no, I don't want this. So that's something that we need to be attentive. So how we can give recognition and appreciation needs to be for the team, for the person that's looking for that, that's looking for to have this accomplishment. So truly the best way of recognition and appreciation is understanding about the person. So behavior profiles assessments would truly help you understand and give the right recognition and the right appreciation that's going to impact employees' decision to stay in the company or not. So it is going to be bonus, it's going to be more free hours, it's going to be vacation paid off. How all of that is going to be happening in that scenario, all of it is going to impact in how going to be the decision of the employee is staying or not staying into a company. Does that make sense for you? Is that making sense? I think like this example is so good. What we did, giving the explanation, right? I share with you how should not be a recognition now, how should do to recognize and appreciate employees, and how that can impact us, the employees, to stay into the company. Truly is using the behavior profile assessment, understanding what's going to be, understanding what is the best way for that team to be able to do so. So a great way of recognition is understanding what it motivates the team the most so they can be all looking for. So if for most people it's money, that would be one great way, but needs to see if that's what your team is looking for. Maybe recognition for some of people, it's about being recognized as the employee of the month, is being recognized as the person that has been doing that, about words, about receiving honor in a public environment. In the same way, others would go and say that what they are looking for is not a public appreciation, but actually receiving something that for them is important, maybe receiving a class, having a school paid off, a master's degree is paid off. All of that are great ways of recognizing and appreciation that's going to impact the decision about employees to stay in the company or not stay. But for in general, for all of them, most people are looking for some specifics. We are talking about recognition in finance. We are talking about receiving growth and being able to continue their journey, as well as truly being able to achieve and have all of that in the next direction. So that's going to be something that's going to help talents to truly be impact and make the decision. So when we are talking about that, those are great ways of talent retention. That's going to be a great way for you to stay with them in the company. We spoke about how all of that can impact and transform our company. If you like this podcast, if you truly see how that can take you to the path to peak, to completely transform your journey, like this video, share with others. It wasn't a great way to have you here. We are going to talk more about talent and retention and how that can impact your company, but we already left here with the right way. Understand how being recognized and appreciated truly impact your team. So path to peak, how to hold talents retention. A great way for that to happen is understand what motivates your team. It's not about what everything fits all, but what truly motivates your team so you can have the best solution for you to achieve the peak.